fine, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I'm here with your pick a card tarot reading for Saturday, February 20th, 2021. That's a lot of twos, y'all. That's a 20, 20, 20, 20, 20 all the way through. So keep a watch out for repeating numbers today, right? That's some angel energy running around you. You know what? When I pulled this card, I was like, surely we've done this before. And I went back through all the videos. This is the first time that this animal has jumped in for you all, and it's about to get fishy around this place, which I love, because for those of you that are really into, animal totems and the medicine of the spirit animals and power animals and that kind of thing, you know that salmon are like really super powerful prognosticators. I promised myself I was going to use that word this week, prognosticators. And they teach us so many things. And they often, the non-glamorous animals, the non-sexy spirit animals, they tend to get overlooked. And I have to tell you, for the salmon, when you get into, spirit animal meetings and that kind of thing, it's pretty standard across the board, right? They're very revered by the Celtic people, and they've got so many myths and legends about them. And it's a big, big deal in the Native American population for Native American animals, and how in their culture, what they learn from them and the stories that they tell about them. And then Salmon told me, I keep saying this for the last few weeks, but I'm going to stop saying it, because I really think this is not just an isolated chunk of time, but I think the spirit animals are elevating all of us to a different understanding, a broader understanding, a broader way of being in a deeper relationship with them. Because messages that have been coming to me, like downloads. Like even the other night I woke up and Lordy be. Somebody, I know I talk a lot about getting hot flashes. I'm not really getting a hot flash right now. It feels different. Somebody out there, I don't know who you are, but please email me. This is the same kind of heating up I get when I'm doing mediumship. And so I know that somebody out there connects one of their passed along relatives or friends very closely with salmon. So just write me and I'll give you the messages that are, email me, Bernadette@whatismyspiritanimal.com, and I'll get back to you. Just put in the headline salmon message and I'll know what that is. I'll give you the message that's coming through right now. I'll remember it. So anyway, and just for those of you that are you're thinking about mediumship, or you're in the middle of classes and you wonder why you get hot flashes, I think the scientific reason for that is that the electricity is passing. When people talk about energy, it's really electricity, and I think the electricity is passing through you and lighting you up like it would heat up a light bulb for a lamp. So anyway, back to the other kind of salmon. Although salmon does connect us with our ancestors, they're really, really great animal allies to take along on a journey, because they migrate. And do you know, I'm sure it's been more, but the farthest that they've been able to clock a salmon swimming upstream to spawn, because that's what salmon do, they swim upstream, is like almost close to 3,000 miles, or just a little bit over 3,000 miles, y'all. And here's the other thing: they don't eat while they're on their journey. And I'm thinking, I can't go to Publix without a snack. I'm like loading my bag with stuff. I'm like, I'm going to pass out if I get into Publix and I can't put my hands on something real quick. But so they're tough stuff, right? So if you've got a long journey of any kind that you want to make, and and that can be physical, that can be spiritual, that can be emotional, it can be all of those things. But if you've got a long journey that you're wanting to make, you can call on salmon energy and they'll help you out. And hey, you might get all kind of fit along the way. So, again, sorry, I had to take a break, y'all. I was just lighting up with this spirit that's coming through. Apparently it's dead people gone wild today in my office. And usually I have much better control over that, but I've done so much mediumship in the last week. They're like, oh, there's a sale at Bernadette's, so they're like, anyway. Okay. So one of the things, that we want to talk about, the message of a long journey and being able to have the willpower and the strength and the motivation to take this long journey is salmon are red, not just red, flaming, screaming, meanie red, right? So that's going to correlate to your base chakra, your root chakra. And even though today is Saturday, which is the third eye day, Bernadette, okay, Third eye day, no wonder they're all coming in and on a Saturday and saying, hey, put the coffee on. So and then on the inside they're pink, right? And so now you're talking about the correlation between your root chakra and the color most associated with unconditional love, which is pink. So there's got to be something going on out there with the wild ones, with y'all, that you are really, really working with the energies of love, unconditional love, maybe for yourself, maybe for others, the critters of the world at all. But here's where the new stuff is coming in that is awesome. And that is, of course, salmon jump. And for decades, and I don't even know how long, people have been trying to figure out why salmon jump. So the most recent thought process on this is that they jump to try to shake off sea lice. And I read about a study where they put one set of salmon in a pen where they could jump at will, in the river. And then they cordoned off another section of them where they had a really light net where they couldn't jump out of the water for a short time. And they were able to record a 28% increase in the sea lice on, of course, the ones that were penned up. Now, does that prove that? I'm no scientist, but I've got to believe that no. I mean, I'm sure it makes sense, and that's what they recorded. And so that's the current train of thought. But I don't know that that's necessarily 100% true. Again, I'm not a scientist. However, in terms of like symbolic meanings, y'all, I was sitting with salmon this morning and they were like, right, that's the whole point. So even if that doesn't ultimately, like 15 years from now or 100 years from now, they find out another reason why salmon jump out of the water. For now, for us, what we can take away from that is if you've got sea lice, you got clingers, honors, people, situations, ways of being that you don't want to be anymore, do anymore, that kind of thing, it is time to take the jump. Now, and shake it off, woo, woo, shake it off. Like be the salmon, be salmon and shake it off. The other thing on top of that is, because again, geek fact, fact geek right here, the highest jump that has ever been recorded so far that salmon will jump out of the water is 12 feet. Now, I got to believe somewhere in the world, some Herculean Olympic salmon went 16 feet, and maybe even used one of those poles that they, vaulting thing that they do. Who knows, right? Animals do crazy things. So when I take a look at the number 12, which is, when I saw that this morning, I have this thing, it's like a ding, ding, ding. It's like, I kind of like Pavlov's dog, ding, 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 and I'll respond to just about anything, right? So it went off in my head that 12 is the number of completion. It's the perfect number. So whatever this thing is, whatever this lice thing is that you want to shake off, it's the time to take the leap, because when you do, you're going to leap to such a perfect, complete place. And again, that's inside of you, outside of you. It's going to be amazing. Now, I think what's happening, again, with all of this expanded wisdom that's coming through from the spirit animals, is that as we get in deeper relationship with their energies and them, right, that we, it's called biomimicry, right, where, we study, people have studied the honeycomb for ever and ever and ever, because in a honeycomb, again, it's perfect. It's mathematically perfect the whole way through. And they make, filters and all kinds of stuff based on what they know honeycomb does. We've studied butterflies and dragonflies and owls. And anyway, look all that stuff up. It is fascinating. But once we get in that deeper relationship, we might consciously or unconsciously say, well, that way is a more powerful, more positive way for me to be, the way for me to act, react, see, whatever. And just kind of naturally go into that flow, go into that adopted flow. It's like, I'll give you a case in point. So I'm having some work done in my yard, right? Because as much as I want to go out there and lift, shovel rocks into a little place, I've got a new water fountain coming in. I'm so excited. I don't have the time. And I'm just not strong enough at the moment to hoist all that rock and do what I could do under normal circumstances. So this old boy came out, and I liked him well enough. We made a deal. Well, he was going to come out, and then his truck broke down, and then this happened, and this happened. We're 2 weeks into this, and I don't have one dang pebble moved. And that's not a flow. That I absolutely know that is not a flow. It is time to move on to another person that's going to do that. Oh my goodness, this old boy kicked up his heels and stomped and snorted and told me I was unfair, and if I could just wait a little bit longer. And I wasn't going to try to explain to him that the animals told me and showed me animals that meant going with the flow and moving on and doing this. Because what does water do? If water gets to a rock, it doesn't push it out of the way. It doesn't try to push it out of the way. It divides and it goes around it or up it or under it or whatever. I'm not trying to move a rock. I'm not trying to move a mountain. I'm just trying to get the marble stone put in my dang garden, right? Okay. But even that has been an uphill battle. So I'm going to swim upstream in a much easier fashion. And so I found somebody and the flow was right. And, here we go. That's the kind of example that I'm talking about. And so in a way, I shook off the sea lice. Very, very nice fellow, just really nice fellow, but just can't seem to get it together. And I understand that. Everybody goes through really, awful times. He just got a perpetual awful time he's going through. And so, moving on, shaking off the sea lice and just moving on, and not with any kind of attachment to what has gone on. I'm only looking at moving forward. And that is what Salmon teaches. But the thing about the color and going back to your root chakra is there's a thing that's taking hold of you where you are just so rooted in spreading love, receiving love. And I know how that sounds. I know that sounds very kumbaya-ish. But I really think we're at the Great Awakening where we understand that that's the way, and sharing is the way. I know a person that is doing some trading, never done it before, doing it now. And in and amongst this person's circle of friends, just got a wonderful group of friends. And they freely trade tips back and forth. Nobody's trying to hang on and make it secret and do this and do that. And so between this person and their 8 or 9 friends, this group of people that are just doing this, I'm fixing to get into trading, y'all, because I'm telling you, I'm watching magic unfold. Not because they're any great shakes at doing this or they have so much accumulated knowledge. They're getting there. I mean, they're doing okay. But just the support within that system. And so that me being called to share that with you all may be a call that Salmon is coming for you today. Not Salmon's coming for you. It's like Salmon is showing up for you today because maybe it's in the financial arena. Maybe it's time for you to do some investing. Maybe you need to invest in another class or maybe tools for your trade. I'm buying a GoPro this weekend because I now know that I'm going to go out and I'm going to do more out in nature now that I can. And I'm going to do, thank goodness, I'm going to be able to get back in the water in my home. I may show up one day and have gills flipping out here, you guys, and be going, well, okay, the truth is out. I'm a mermaid. So any of those things could happen. But I just really encourage you that usually I leave it kind of loose about, well, if this animal means, is showing you this, it's probably your spirit animal. If you identify with this, it's probably your totem animal. If you want to invoke or unite with that power of that animal that lives inside of you at all times, so on and so forth. But today I'm going to tell you that Salmon has definitely shown up for you to be your power animal, because whatever this thing is that you're rooted in your base chakra, you're to approach it with just the most full, complete, authentic love and unconditional love that you can dream up, that you can do. And know that really, I think the most important thing about this is whatever this is that you're doing, whatever this journey that's on, and you're going to jump off and shake off the sea lice and, just keep the faith and that's it. Keep the faith and keep going. It's going to be life-changing for you, and it's going to be world-changing for, the world, right? So with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. I will see you tomorrow on Sunday. And as always, stay wild.